Hi, this is Zero's Guy, here with the team The State Sigilifts, and I'm going to be going through my TBA Season 3 draft. TBA has two divisions, Majors and a Minors League. Each league has 20 people in it, and each league is split up into two divisions. I am in the Kalos division of the Minors League. The main rules for this draft that you'll need to know going into this draft analysis are that it is played in Gen 8 national decks and post DLC moves and abilities are available. However, no cut moves from Generation 8 will be available, so no hidden powers, no moves like Return, no Pursuit, nothing that's been cut from the current generation. So, before I get into my picks, I noticed a lot of potential with these new DLC moves, and I wanted to try a lot of them out. So I decided to put together my first rain-based draft along with a few mons that can abuse rain. I thought that my opponents might not expect some of these new moves and might underestimate some of my team, so maybe I shouldn't be explaining them all here, but whatever. But let's get right into it with my first pick. I picked Zapdos. Now, in my opinion, Zapdos is a tier 1 mon all on its own, but with the addition of these new DLC moves, it really makes it a first round pick for me. The important new moves that it gets are Hurricane and Weather Ball. Hurricane is a 100% accurate in the rain. Weather Ball turns into a 100 base power water type attack when rain is up, allowing me to deal with ground type Pokemon that might switch into my 100% accurate Thunders in the rain. All of this is coming off of a 125 special attack, and Zapdos also has a speed of 100, which is a very nice base speed to have. Moving on to my next pick, I wanted to make sure I had the best rain setter. So to be safe, I picked up Pelipper round 2. I did not want to get stuck with Politoed. Pelipper's an offensive threat all on its own with 100% accurate Hurricanes and rain boosted Scalds, but mainly it'll just be to set up rain for the rest of my team. The best thing about Pelipper is that it has access to U-turn, allowing me to switch in my other rain-abusing mons without having them take any damage. That is very, very important. The downsides to Pelipper are its 4 times weakness to Electric, and it's also weak to Stealth Rock, but I could potentially run the new Heavy Duty Boots item over Damp Rock some weeks, and seeing as there's no hidden power, this is a fairly good choice. My next pick, I decided to pick up my Mega Altaria. Now, funnily enough, I wasn't planning on picking up Mega Swampert, but I wasn't planning on picking up my Mega this early either. I wanted to save my Mega pick for the end and just pick the best one that was left over. And I thought that Mega Swampert would last until the end just in case there was nothing else good. Unfortunately, Mega Swampert got taken this past round, and so I decided to go with what my original choice was, which is Mega Altaria. I like this Pokemon because it's 2 parts of the Fairy Dragon Steel Core in one. It's Dragon and Fairy, meaning that it's a Dragon type that's immune to Dragon type attacks, which is really cool. It's also going to resist any boosted water type attacks that are going to be coming my way due to rain. In addition, it has fairly good offensive and defensive capabilities. On defensive sets, it can run stuff like Heal Bell and Defog, and on offensive sets, it can run Dragon Dance. Having these options really helps out my team. The next Pokemon that I picked, I was contemplating about picking this up, but I wasn't sure if Azumarill was worth a tier 1 slot for me. Then I saw that post DLC it gets the move High Horsepower, which works pretty well with the next Pokemon that you'll see me pick up. In addition to knowing just how well Azumarill can do on rain teams, it doesn't really fit my playstyle, but I thought, what the heck, I'll pick it up and try it out. Sap Sipper and Huge Power are both very good abilities. Huge Power is good for belly drum sets, I get boosted Aqua Jets, and Sap Sipper gives me a grass immunity, which is really helpful because I'm going to be picking up multiple water types because of the team. This was actually a change in plan. I wanted to pick up Ferrothorn, but that was taken. So the next choice that you'll see me pick up is Rillaboom. Rillaboom gets Grassy Surge in this league, and it's available as a tier 2 pick. That is just insane to me. I don't know what Tapu Bulu does that this Mon can't. This Mon is 10 points faster than Tapu Bulu, and it still has a base 125 attack. Similar to Tapu Bulu, this Mon gets Grassy Terrain Recovery. You can pair it with Leftovers and Leech Seed for maximum recovery each turn. Grassy Terrain will boost Wood Hammer and Drum Beating, which is a very good move. This Pokemon has base 85 speed, so it'll be outspeeding some Pokemon that are a lot faster than it after one turn of Drum Beating. It also gets some pretty great coverage moves like Superpower, Darkest Lariat, High Horsepower. It also gets U-Turn and Knockoff. If I want to set up with this Mon, I can use Bulk Up. This Pokemon's a serious threat, and some teams just won't have anything to deal with it. The next Pokemon I picked up was Seismitoad. I like having a Water Absorb Pokemon on every team that I draft, and it's great to have that Water Absorb Mon also be a ground type that's immune to electric moves. Swiftsum's a great addition to this Pokemon, which basically made it a must pick up for this team. This Pokemon gives me access to Stealth Rocks, and it can easily run either special or physical sets. The downsides of this Mon are its 4 times weakness to Grass, which a surprising number of Pokemon get coverage for, and its lack of recovery, unlike its counterpart in Gastrodon, which I typically prefer. This is my fastest Swift Swimmer on the team, and it's only base 74 speed, which isn't great, but 95 attack and 85 special attack aren't anything to laugh at coming off of a Mon with Fighting, Grass, Ice, Poison, and Rock coverage. The next Pokemon I picked up was my Steel type to finish my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I originally drafted Magnezone, but post-draft I traded it for Metagross after it was dropped by another coach. Magnezone just didn't really do much for my team, and it didn't even get Thunder to abuse rain with. So I dropped that, and I picked up Metagross in its place. Metagross works really well on this team because Rillaboom and Pelipper cover for its weaknesses. Rain covers for Metagross's fire weakness, and Rillaboom will weaken earthquakes coming in at Metagross, making Metagross a very good user of weakness policy. If you're playing against me this season, just ignore the last thing that I said and hit me with super effective moves anyway. Metagross also gets some pretty cool DLC moves. It gets Cosmic Power and Brutal Swing. I'm not sure if Cosmic Power is great because Metagross lacks some good recovery, but it's something to keep in mind. Even though this technically finishes my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, it is kind of weak because my Fairy and my Dragon type are, say my main Fairy and Dragon type are the same Pokemon, which I don't really prefer. The next Pokemon that I picked up was Weezing. I wanted a poison type that has the potential to be grounded if needed, so if I ever decide to use neutralizing gas one week, then Grassy Surge will benefit this Mon greatly. I'll get Grassy Surge recovery, and it'll weaken earthquakes that are aimed at this Pokemon. This Mon gets access to Toxic Spikes, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split. Those are all very good moves. I know that Levitate is probably going to be the best ability on this Mon, but in Draft League it's very good to have a potential Toxic Spike Absorber. Weezing unfortunately has quite a low HP and special defense stat and lack of reliable recovery, but it helps fill a few holes in my team, and I think it was a really good tier 4 pick, especially with neutralizing gas as an ability. This next Pokemon that I picked up is the reason that I wanted to draft a Rain team. Tier 5, I picked up Poliwrath. I mean, this Pokemon's insane. It gets Belly Drum and Swift Swim, but the new DLC moves push this way over the edge, and people are not going to be expecting what this Pokemon can do. The new moves it gets are incredible. It gets Close Combat, Darkest Lariat, Drain Punch, High Horsepower, which works well if grassy terrain is up. It also finally gets Liquidation, and that just might edge out Waterfall in certain situations to get a crucial KO. I wanted to pick up a fire type, and I decided to pick up the Pokemon Rapidash. It has a very nice speed of base 105, and it has a base 100 attack that'll allow it to basically OHKO any 4 times fire weak Pokemon. My team has a pretty difficult time dealing with some mons that resist water, and I have very limited fire coverage on the rest of my team. My idea when drafting this Pokemon specifically is that it might actually be a good Utility Umbrella user. I know that sounds strange because Utility Umbrella is a terrible item, but it might be half decent on this Pokemon. First of all, using Utility Umbrella will allow Rapidash to recover the full 50% from Morning Sun in rain, and it will also take unboosted damage from water type attacks in rain. I do realize that this Pokemon is fairly frail, so it might not matter if the water type attacks it's taking are boosted or not. But it's something to keep in mind, and this Pokemon gives me a fire immunity if I ever decide that I need one. Finally, the last Pokemon that I picked up was Miltank. In a format with no hidden powers, a normal type with a lot of coverage is a great pick. New DLC moves for this Pokemon include things like Body Press and High Horsepower, which work great on this Pokemon, especially in grassy terrain. This Pokemon gets Fighting, Steel, Psychic, Fire, Ice, Rock, Ground, Electric coverage, along with 3 really good abilities that very well might see usage this season. Sap Sipper gives me another grass immunity while raising my attack for some hard-hitting moves. Scrappy lets me hit ghost types, and it lets me spam Body Press and Body Slam very easily. Thick Fat has fire and ice type damage. The fire type damage isn't that important, but ice type damage might be really important, seeing as some people might be bringing Freeze Dry against my team, and having a Pokemon that can resist ice type attacks that's not a water type is very good. Milk Drink along with the base 95 HP means this Pokemon will stick around for a decent amount of time for a tier 4, and bulky sets can use several of Miltank's good status moves such as Stealth Rocks, Heal Bell, Thunder Wave, and it also gets Rain Dance in case I need another rain setter. Even Curse sets might be viable due to its access to Body Press now, and don't ever discount the potential of Rollout. Overall, I think I have a very good team, but despite my access to Swift Swim, my team is quite slow. Like I said, my fastest Swift Swim user is only base 74 speed. I have decent bulk in order to pivot around, but doing that will waste very important turns of rain. And if I'm running grassy terrain, pivoting around will heal me, but it's also going to be wasting those turns as well. I have some nice setup. Mega Altaria, Metagross, Poliwrath, and Azumarill all have the potential to sweep teams fairly easily. And I like being able to use a lot of the cool new DLC moves. So even if this season doesn't go as planned, I'll still have a lot of fun trying out these new moves. So good luck to everyone playing this season. I hope your overheats land and your scalds burn. Just not if you're playing against me. Thanks, guys.